Hey everyone, it's Will here, and this week we'll be conducting a raid on the Jade Moon based on intelligence provided by our new trader, Kasan Moor. We'll be flying air support for Crix Maydeen on this one, so let's jump in the X-Wing and head out.
This is the Jade Moon. There's an Imperial storage base nearby. It's an inventory hub for the local bases in the system. General Maydeen and his ground troops should find plenty of supplies in the base, as long as we can knock out the shield generator. It's located at the end of a canyon rift somewhere nearby.
Private channel, sir. Private channel, go ahead. Luke, how do we know Kasan isn't leading us right into a trap? Not now, Wedge.
The Jade Moon must be one of my favorite levels in this game, and the one I played the most as a kid. I must have heard that exchange between Wedge and Luke, where Wedge shares his misgivings about Kasan at least 100 times. But it wasn't until this last playthrough that I kind of wondered why. What's different about Kasan? I mean, Crix Maydeen had just defected 2 levels ago, and already he's been in operations both in a Y-Wing and on the ground. Wedge didn't have a problem with that. His close friend was also Biggs Darklighter, another Impearl Defector, as well as Hobbie, one of the early members of Rogue Squadron. And in the new canon, Wedge himself is a defector from the Starstrike Academy. Of course, I realized what the reason for his misgivings were, because Kasan is the one-off character from this game who defects early on, and of course they want you not to be sure of her intention. Now, this is kind of outside of what I normally would do. I'd like to give you a little tip or a hint if you ever play Rogue Squadron or if you're picking it up for the first time. In this level, after you clear out the area around the shields, you'll want to jump across the map, and it's worth getting the bonus at that point because you'll have a few minutes until the ground crew reaches the area that you're supposed to protect them from. In this level, you'll get a pair of advanced shields, which can really help, especially with the torpedo turrets. It gives you one more hit. Now to get to the fun part of the video, digging into some lore, I figured it would be a good week to discuss in more detail the defection on the Rand Ecliptic and how Biggs Darklighter came to the Rebel Alliance. In my opinion, the best version of the story is told in the Star Wars Legends comic Empire over the issues 8, 9, and 12. The comic gives us a brief glimpse into Biggs' time on Tatooine and his friendship with Luke Skywalker, before it shows us his time at the Imperial Academy training as a pilot for the Empire. While at the Academy, he begins to have misgivings about the Empire and his place in it. And in the 9th issue, we see him go back to Tatooine before his posting, or before he's deployed on the Rand Ecliptic, to tell Luke of his intention to defect to the Rebel Alliance. This meeting with Luke, to tell him about his intentions to defect to the Rebel Alliance, based on a famous deleted scene from A New Hope. After his visit home, Biggs takes up his position as a second-in-command on the Rand Ecliptic, where his rival Hobbie Klivian had also been posted. At this point, Darklighter has gathered a group of people who he knows are loyal to him and want to defect to the Rebel Alliance, and they start hatching a plan to take the Rand Ecliptic to the Rebellion. Unfortunately, before they're able to put their plan into motion, Hobbie comes across their little meeting, and they figure in for a penny, in for a pound, and fight their way out of the ship, taking off into open space and stolen TIE fighters. Of course, that's a horrible idea, because TIE fighters only have limited life support systems. So soon they find that they're forced to go back to the Rand Ecliptic, where, when they land, they find out that Hobbie had actually been in charge of another rebel cell that took the opportunity and chaos that Biggs' cell, trying to escape, had caused, to seize control of the Ecliptic themselves. The two report to the base on Yavin 4, where they assist the rebellion in liberating the first X-Wings, and then Biggs would also help liberate some astromech droids that the rebellion needed for those X-Wings. As I'd mentioned, we haven't gotten a full story about the Rand Ecliptic defection in new canon, but there is one interesting detail we see in the new Star Wars Encyclopedia. Hobbie was in fact working undercover to assist with the rebellion sympathizers on the ship.
Form up, team. Let's get back to the ship. Nice work, Kasan.
It feels strange, though, being on the other side. I took their orders for a long time.
I, for one, am glad you're here. You're fighting for your own ideals now.
Yes.
Well, that's us causing chaos in the Jade Moon, and next week we'll be raiding an Imperial construction facility. Hope to see you there. Until then, may the Force be with you.